Peace and blessings, family. This is Brother Shareef with the Hour of Power. Go to Hour of Power Shareef Hamid on YouTube. Subscribe and share so we can continue to lift the mind, body, and soul of our people. Um, Real quick, I'm not in the studio like I normally am to give my normal message, um, but I need some of y'all help and participation. The Hour of Power wants to make October, which we're already in, Women's Month. October is already recognized for breast cancer awareness and domestic violence awareness. But I need some strong sisters to come on my show to share whatever knowledge, life experiences that they have, so we can honor women this month. We got off to a real powerful, impactful start last night as we had Sister Tanya Larry and mainly Sister Sharnisa Selman when she gave her talk and testimony about some trials and tribulations that she's been through in her life. I mean, it was powerful, especially for those who may have experienced the same thing. So that's what I need. If you know of anyone that that you think fits the mold, please tell them to inbox me so we can have some strong sisters on for the month of October. We're making October Women's Month, dedicated to strong sisters. They can talk about domestic violence, spirituality, whatever they have to share that's going to be of value to the community. I would love to talk to them, but they need to get with me ASAP so I can plug them in, because this month will be gone before you know it. So if you know of any sisters that you think that are influential, powerful, knowledgeable, I'm not bougie or anything. I'm just down to earth and just want to hear from some strong women in the community. You don't got to have no degree or want to know special school or have no special title or anything like that. As long as you're a God-fearing woman and doing something positive in the community, that's good enough for me. So that's what we're looking for, is some strong women to come on the show, have them inbox me, call me, text me, whatever, so I can put them on the schedule for Women's Month for October on the Hour of Power. Of course, the show comes on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Channel 16 Local Access TV and streaming live on Facebook. No, they don't have to be from York. They just gotta, like I said, be a God-fearing woman doing something positive in the community wherever they're from, and just tell them to get with me and we can make it happen. No, they don't gotta be from York. We gotta stop that, dividing up. We all one. It don't matter where we're from. I'm glad you asked that question. Sometimes I hear people giving other people a hard time because they're not from, a certain place. I don't know where that idea and that mentality comes from, but that's small time thinking. That would be like Harlem rejecting Minister Malcolm. Now, Minister Malcolm did a lot of work in Harlem, but he wasn't from Harlem. Minister Malcolm was born in Nebraska. That would be like the city of Chicago rejecting Minister Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan wasn't born in Chicago. He was born in Boston, Massachusetts, I believe. But that's where he does the majority of his work at right now. Minister Farrakhan. That would be like Atlanta rejecting Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King wasn't born in Atlanta. So, I mean, we can go on and on. That would be like America rejecting Marcus Garvey. You know how many different chapters of the UNIA is in America. Marcus Garvey wasn't born in America. He was born in Jamaica. See what I mean? See how small time thinking that is? That's very small time thinking. Someone isn't from here and you're going to reject their work when they're doing wherever God puts you and you doing something positive and you sincere, that's where you're supposed to be. That is where you're supposed to be. So if Jesus would pop up here right now in York, PA, if we're going off of that thinking, then we should reject him. He ain't from here. I'm going to say it again. If Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha popped up in the streets of York, PA right now, will we say, oh, they ain't from here? I don't want to hear nothing he got to say. They ain't from here. No. Wherever you are, that's where you are. And you supposed to contribute. The hell you mean you ain't from here? That doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Jesus pop up here right now. You going to reject him? We find any excuse. This leads to the many different levels of our sickness. We are sick. We saw it all over the internet yesterday. A damn judge hugging a killer. Now, from what I understand, this woman busted in this man's apartment and she killed him because she thought she was in her. Some dumbass excuse. You know the story. And then the brother of the victim squeezing and rubbing up on all her. We are a sick people. Matter of fact, it's called Stockholm Syndrome. Now, I wasn't planning. I'm sitting in my car. I'm just going where the spirit leads me. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome means captors or victims having an extreme amount of pity and protection for their oppressor. That's what Stockholm Syndrome is. You can look it up, and it originates in Germany when a group of people were taken hostage by some bank robbers, I believe, and the bank robbers held them hostage for several hours. Eventually, the victims were rescued, but before they were rescued, well, after they were rescued, they actually started protecting those who held them captive. Don't this sound familiar? And actually went to extreme measures to protect those who held them captive in this attempted bank robbery. And then they called it a syndrome because they said, well, this is true. Sometimes when people are held captive and abused and oppressed, they start having close feelings and protection with those who have oppressed them. That's why they call it Stockholm Syndrome, because this original attempted bank robbery happened in, I believe, a place called Stockholm in Germany. So they call it Stockholm Syndrome. The same damn thing has happened to black people. We have this protection, this close feeling to those who have oppressed us and who have inflicted injury upon us. That's why you saw that disturbing scene in the courtroom. Even the judge. Well, since when have you seen a judge come off of the bench and start hugging a convicted murderer? And then the brother, and then the dad even said he wants to hug and rub up on this cracker who killed their son and their brother. Sick. And it's many others who have this Stockholm Syndrome. But if your neighbor Pookie owes you $5, or if your blood sister Tamika does something wrong to you 25 years ago, you can't forgive them. But some fucking cracker who goes in this man's house and kills him. She tried that. You hugging and rubbing up all on her for all the world to see. Wasn't no one hugging OJ. I don't know if he did it or not. And many, many others. This is beyond sick. We are a sick people. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is for someone who wants to be forgiven and who is sincere. That's what it's for. I don't recall her asking for anyone's forgiveness other than when she got in the jam. They gave it to him. We're sick people, but we won't forgive each other. We holding grudges with each other for 10, 15, 20 years, almost over nothing. And then this demonic person, God Almighty. Well, what has happened to us? What has happened to us? Look that up. And I wasn't planning on going, and excuse me for my language, but it's very disturbing. Because if our youth and those who don't know are seeing this, and she's appealing it, so she's not sorry. I just saw today that her lawyers are filing for what appeal? If we lucky they even filed charges. You know how many of these cops and people who want to be cops haven't even faced charges? Where's Michael Brown's killer, Darren Wilson? Come on, talk to me. Remember that back in 2014 in Louisiana? Accused the boy of stealing some cigarillos, which he didn't do. And they murdered that boy and let him lay out in the street for 4 hours. Where's Darren Wilson at right now these days? Have you forgotten? Killed a child. What's George Zimmerman doing these days? Killed a child. An innocent child walking to the store, bothering no one, and the damn cop said, leave him alone. And he stalked a child and gunned him down. And this cracker is walking the streets. As we speak. Walking the streets. Where's Tamir's Rice killer right now? A 12-year-old child who was in a playground, bothering no one, and some demon calls the cops on him because he was in the playground playing with a toy gun. A cop pulls up in less than 3 seconds. He blew away an innocent 12-year-old child right there in the Midwest back in 2012. Where is his killer? Another child killer. Where's the man that drug the young man? His last name is Greer, right here in York. Drug him up and down the street, had him up under the car. His last name was Greer. I was with the boy 2-3 days before he got killed right here in York before I moved to North Carolina. And his mom left the casket open. Yes, I was. That boy was trying to find himself. I got a chance to meet him. He came to the mosque in Harrisburg, and the brothers at the mosque in Harrisburg asked me to give him a ride home 2-3 days before he was killed. And I gave that brother a ride home. I just remember his last name was Greer. And his mother is very well known here in York, PA. And something happened on the east end side of town. The cop ran him over and drug him up and down the street. I was with that boy a few days before he got killed because I gave him a ride home from the Harrisburg Mosque. And he gave me his phone number. And he said, bruh, I'm just trying to find myself. Where's his killer? See how we forget? Did you know it was a sister on George Street back in about 85 or 86, and some demon ran her over and decapitated her? And after she decapitated her because she was drunk, she became a 911 dispatcher? If anyone knows who I'm talking about, I believe her last name was Murray. Back in the late 80s on George Street, right here in York, PA, thank you, Georgia Murray, the sister was walking across the street and some demon that was drunk ran her over and decapitated her. Her head was, I hate to be so graphic. Oh, he seems like he's angry. He don't like white people. No, I don't like lies. I don't like deception. You see any notes here? I'm in my car waiting for my boys. I did not plan to talk about this, but you tell me one thing that I've said that is false. Ain't no notes. This is all as raw as it sounds. This is all coming from the Most High. I'm in my car. I'm waiting for my boys to get done playing. The lady became a damn 911 dispatcher after she decapitated a sister from being drunk. Some of y'all are out of your mind. Where does it say to be in love with your open enemy? Where is that? And is that common sense? Or what my pastor said, or so-and-so said, that we supposed to love our enemy. Every living human being or any living being innately has a defense mechanism within them without them even knowing it. Don't tell me about no goddamn loving and forgiving your enemy. If that was the case, how come every single being, animal, insect, and certainly human being, innately has something in them to defend themselves? If you mess with a skunk, they're going to spray you with that nasty spray. If you mess with a spider, they're going to bite you with that venomous poison. A cat, if you corner a cat, they're going to scratch the hell out of you. I can go on and on and on. If you supposed to forgive and not supposed to defend yourself, how come every single living thing on this planet has some kind of defense mechanism to protect themselves? We the only ones marching and buffooning and clowning, begging for forgiveness, and they still don't accept us. Roll on your back. They kick you in the back of your head or in your face. Roll on your stomach. They kick you in the back of your head. As Malcolm said, begging and trying to appeal to their moral conscience. They don't have no morals or no conscience. More or less a moral conscience. A judge come off the bench, and then the security guard rubbing her hair. Back to this cop in Dallas or wherever the hell it was, rubbing and massaging her hair. Stockholm Syndrome. Look it up. It is synonymous to our sickness. Having a close attachment. And even defending their captor and oppressor. That's what, in a nutshell, Stockholm Syndrome is. And we have it to the fullest. This ain't no hate teaching. This is love teaching. It's common sense. It's common sense. It's naturally within us. But we won't forgive each other for much smaller things. Mothers ain't talking to their daughters, and fathers ain't talking to their sons, and brothers ain't talking to their brothers over small things. But we hugging this killer and massaging her hair. She deliberately did that. She was bloodthirsty that day. So she said, I'ma kill me a nigger. This is what they do. And they know they'll get away with it. Black lives matter. The black lives even matter us more or less them. And until we love each other and have the real spirit of forgiveness for each other, ain't no one else gonna love us. But some of us don't deserve no forgiveness either. Like these damn child molesters and pedophiles ravaging our community. Their blood should be streaming down the street into the closest gutter. These child molesters, these pedophiles, since this is Women's Month, you know how many of our sisters are walking? I just had one on my show last night. Walking around in pain because some sick bastard has done something to them. See, I'm fair. At least I try to be. Oh, he hates white people. No, I don't. Hate is wasted energy. And I don't got no energy to be wasting. Hate is wasted energy. I don't hate no one. I'm just speaking the truth. That was a sick scene on the internet. But these damn child molesters and pedophiles ravaging our community. Black women have never been safe in this country. From the minute that they step foot in the hells of North America, they have never been safe. When they took us out of Africa, stripped us naked. And they started ravaging our women, and the men and the boys too, but particularly the women. That's when the nightmare started. We know they did that to us. It is recorded history. Started raping and ravaging our women. But now, some of our own is doing the same thing. Some of these sick men ravaging these little girls. And how is that happening? And then some of the women is just as sick because these innocent girls will come to them and say, Mom, he did this to me. And because you want to protect him, because you don't want to lose him, You slap her in the face and tell her to keep her mouth shut. Because you don't want to lose this buffoon and clown monster that you picked. You picked him. And now he's sleeping and ravaging the whole family. You ain't do no investigation. Ain't check him out. You just brought him in. Can't do that. Oh, Brother Shareef, how you go from asking for women to come on your show to this topic? I don't know. But I know it's the truth. Tell me I'm lying about anything that I've said for those who have seen this from beginning to end. Tell me that I'm lying. Because I'm not above being corrected. I don't know how I went from that topic to this topic, but I know it's the truth. These girls, ain't no one talking about it. The church ain't talking about it. The mosque ain't talking about it. But we see the ill effects of it, talking about the rape and the molestation of our girls. And now they women now, walking around with all this pain. Hell, even T.D. Jakes did a documentary on it called Women That Aren't Loose. 1 out of every 4 black women have been sexually abused or physically abused at some point in their life. They ain't talking about it. Who's talking about it? And then you got some Negroes that got the nerve to say, well, I can't deal with black women because they're so angry. Well, do you know what happened to them? Do you know what's happened to them? These men that are raping and molesting our girls should be hung at the damn guillotine. Their blood should be streaming down the street into the nearest gutter. You lucky I ain't the damn judge. I see, all you gotta do, and I ain't trying to put myself on no pedestal. Just go back on my show from last night, and it'll give you a small snapshot of the pain that our sisters are going through every day from these child. And then some of our women are so sick, they treat the victim like they're the perpetrator and treat the perpetrator like they're the victim. I have seen it with my own eyes, protecting these monsters. What, you think that just goes away? A grown man pounding and fingering on a little girl. Man, women are giving pussy away for free. They're giving pussy away for free, and you want to be sexually molesting and abusing a girl, a little girl, and take her innocence. Giving pussy away for free. Oh my goodness, you got them beads on and that cap on? I never thought I'd hear someone who professes to be a man of God speak in such a way. Well, maybe you never met a real man of God. Maybe you never met a real man of God, because if you have, the ones that have that position and authority would be talking about this. So you mean to tell me, for all you Jesus cheerleaders, that's right, I said it, for all you Jesus cheerleaders, you mean to tell me if Jesus was here right now and he knew innocent girls was being sexually molested and abused, and he had preachers and deacons and pastors all across this country, in this world, he wouldn't say, hey, we got to do something about this, because T.D. Jakes is awful quiet about it. Joyce Myers is awful quiet about it. Joe Osteen is awful quiet about it. If Muhammad was here, for all you Muhammad cheerleaders, other than Minister Farrakhan, you mean to tell me he wouldn't tell the imams to speak on the sexual abuse, particularly of black and brown girls? Imam so-and-so, you awful quiet. Sheikh so-and-so, you awful quiet. Oh, well, Brother Shareef, I thought you was a Muslim. Yeah, I am. I just strive to be an honest one. I said strive to be. Strive to be. I didn't say I am, just trying. But you Jesus and Muhammad cheerleaders are awful quiet on the sexual abuse and rape of these girls and the damage that it has and is doing in our community. You're awful quiet. Why? Why? Is it not a relevant topic? What you quiet about? I thought the truth will set you free. Protecting these monsters. Got an Uncle Fester in all our families. The little girl come to you and tell you what this monster that you brought in has done, and you say nothing other than be quiet. That's very interesting. And how you think that's going to work out? Protecting a child molester and a pedophile. And the mothers are bringing them in. You just can't bring them in. How can you do more investigation or observation buying a pair of shoes or a car, which is an inanimate object, than you do bringing a man around your children? And the boys ain't safe either. They've been touched and fondled on. Why you think some of them are so angry? I deal with this all the time. Just can't bring some monster into your house around your girls. A sane man has to watch himself around these girls because of the hormones that they're injecting into this food. These girls are more developed than ever. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the brothers and sisters, let the mother deal with the girls. Even if it's your own daughter. He taught us that. He said, let the mothers deal with the girls. So even if you a sane man, especially if she didn't come from your loins, if you a sane man, you gotta watch your gaze and watch how you deal with these girls. Can you imagine a sick man around these girls? A sick man? He's sitting there slow dancing and romancing you. And then while he's slow dancing and romancing you and whispering sweet nothings in your ear, he's peeping over your shoulder at your budding daughter with bigger titties and ass than you got. And he's sick. What do you think's going to happen? I ain't talking about what someone told me. I'm coming to you from a professional level, from me being a counselor and a therapist now. and just being a regular brother on the street. Back in the day, then I'll be done. Hey, if something happens to me after this, you know why. Because they watching. Then the other day I did a talk about don't get no vaccines. Let God heal you with the immune system that he gave you. What's the immune system for? If you ain't gonna use it. Immune system is to fight off disease. But because some demon said, take this shot because it's flu season, we run into the doctor getting vaccines that they're injecting you with the flu. But anyway, I met this sister back in the day. She ain't know me from a can of paint. And she had this beautiful daughter. Long, pretty hair. I ain't known this sister but 2-3 weeks. And she invited me over to her place. I thought me and her were just going to chill for the night. She had a real nice apartment. And it was a Saturday night. And I was in my pajamas at her place. And she goes in the room for a while. Her phone is ringing. She comes back out all dressed up. I said, where are you going? She said, I'm going out for the night with my girls. I'm not possessive. I was like, okay. And I'm thinking, well, who's going to watch your daughter? I've only known her 3 weeks. I said, where's she going? She said, she's staying here with you. Man, she got her keys and went on out the door. I ain't known this sister but 3 weeks. She left me home with her, I believe, 8 or 9-year-old daughter by myself. Now, luckily, I'm not no sick person. I got a little God consciousness in me. But what if I was sick? And then the little girl, when I was very nervous because I'm like, what? I went in the room. The little girl came in the room. All she wanted was some attention, which most of these girls want. And she got in the bed with me. The little girl that I only known 3 weeks. I said, baby, you're going to have to go in your room. She said, no, I want to sleep in here with you. I'm scared. I said, nothing's going to happen to you. I said, I'll get a nightlight. And I said, you cannot sleep in this bed with me. And she almost started crying. I said, nothing's going to happen to you. And I walked her to her room, and I tucked her in a decent way. And I said, you can't sleep in the bed with me. But the moral of the story is, this sister left me with her daughter. She only known me 3 weeks. She out partying. You know how much of that goes on? Women just inviting monsters into their safe sanctuary. These children are dependent on you to protect them. Just can't bring, man, you got every right to do a background check on everyone that walks through your door. Matter of fact, it's free. You can check anyone out these days. And if a man got a problem with it, that should be your first red flag right there. Well, what you want to check my record for? Well, I'm trying to protect my children. What you got to hide? Now, if the brother been locked up for selling some weed or something like that, man, we can forgive that since we started out talking about forgiveness. But if you don't know how to keep your damn hands to yourself, and you got a fetish for 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, when grown women are giving pussy away for free, I don't think we can forgive that. Because you're ravaging our community. You're destroying our community. You're continuing what was done to us when we were brought here. You think we got over that? Forget about slavery. All they talk about is us being out in the cornfield, in the fields picking cotton. There ain't too many people talking about the sexual abuse. Nah, ain't no forgiveness for no damn molesting our children. Go read your Bible. In Judges, I believe, and in Genesis, where these men, I forget their name, disrespected Diana. And they wanted to take her as a wife, but they raped her. And her brothers, I believe, were Jacob. They found out about the rape, so they lured the men into the town. They said, we want to have a talk with you. We want to invite you to our town just to welcome you. You can read this. It's either in Judges or Genesis. They invited them to the town. It's right in the Bible, but the preachers ain't going to tell you about this Bible verse. They invited them to the town and slew all the men who raped their sister Diana. Right in the Bible, it says the rape of Diana. And they said, what made you think you could disrespect our sister and get away with it? It's right in the Bible. It's God is my witness. Go read it. It's called the rape of Diana. They said, what made you think you could rape our sister and get away with it? And they killed them all right there in the Bible. Oh, I know what the rebuttal is to this. Oh, that's in the Old Testament. And we're under the new law in grace. Oh, really? So why did Jesus say in Matthew 5:17 that he didn't come to destroy the old law, but to fulfill it? And when we're talking about the old law, we're talking about the law of Moses. Jesus said, and I ain't beating up on Christians. I'm just giving us a different perspective on what the book says. He says, I didn't come to destroy the old law, but to fulfill it. So my good sister Melva said that was Simeon and Levi in Genesis 34. Thank you. So you know I'm not making this up. So what made you think you could disrespect our sister like that and get away with it? So if we're not going to follow nothing in the Old Testament, why don't they just rip that part of the Bible out and don't even have it? What's the purpose of it if you ain't going to never refer to it and say, oh, that's that? No. And then it's another verse said, of this book, of this word, don't disregard not a dot, not a jot. Come on now. It says not a dot, not a jot. Don't disregard this word. I'm sorry for the language, but my book, the Holy Quran, says, speak to the people in the language of the people so they may understand. I don't know how much time I have left. But God damn it, I'm going to go down swinging and telling the truth. I originally started out by asking, and I end with this. I don't know how I got off on this topic, but I believe the Spirit led me to speak on this. I don't believe I said anything incorrect, anything false. If I have, please correct me. But I started out the talk by asking if you know any sisters, God almighty, that can come on my show for this month, for Women's Month. The Hour of Power is making October Women's Month. So I need some sisters to come on my show and share their knowledge if they're doing something beneficial in the community, or if they got some knowledge to share. I'm trying to dedicate October for women. So if you know any sisters, they don't got to be from here. They just got to be able to come to the studio. My show is every Wednesday from 8 p.m. on, because sometimes we go longer than 9. I just need them at the studio by 7:45 so we can do a sound check. So if you know any women that could be a asset to the Hour of Power, please send them my way. Again, the show is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I would just need them about 20 minutes early. They can inbox me, they can text me, so they can come on the show. If I offended anyone, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go there, but I believe everything I said was the truth. If you're bold enough, share this message. Hit the share button. If you think someone can take, and if you believe everything I said was the truth and good for our people, hit the share button. Because I believe the information that just came from somewhere, I believe it can help our people. And I believe many people need to hear it, as raw and as vulgar as it was. Hit the share button. I leave you in peace as I came. Assalamu alaikum.